Good morning. This meeting of the Agricultural Labor Relations Board is called to order at 10:03. I will call the roll. Board Member Broad.
Present.
Board Member Hall.
Present.
Board Member Lightstone.
Present.
Wonderful. And I'm also here. Please let the record reflect that we have an in-person quorum in the Sacramento office. Also present from our staff for today's meeting is ALRB Executive Secretary, Mr. Santiago Avila Gomez, who is providing technical support. We will start today with the open session portion of the meeting, and prior to going into closed session, we will provide an opportunity for public comment on any portion of the meeting. The first agenda item is approval of the meeting minutes from the July 23rd, 2025 meeting. I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Member Hall moves. Is there a second?
Second.
Member Lightstone second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. The next agenda item is the acting chair's report. I wanted to share that I attended SoCal LIRA's annual labor and employment law conference last month, and I am happy to report that a few of our team members were also in attendance. This was a one-day conference that featured presentations from representatives of the NLRB, PERB, and other well-known practitioners in the fields of labor and employment law. Congratulations to SoCal LIRA on a successful event. Wonderful. Questions? All right. The next agenda item is the executive officer's report on elections, unfair labor practice complaints, and hearings presented by Executive Officer Santiago Avila Gomez. Santiago?
Thank you, and good morning, Acting Chair Flores and members of the board. Today's report covers activities since the board's last meeting on July 23rd. The report can be found on our website under the meetings tab and in the meeting notice, and executive officer's report can be downloaded from there. Turning to three categories: election activity, administrative orders, and pending matters. First is election activity we saw on July 23rd, actually the day of our last board meeting. A majority support petition and a notice of intent to organize were filed at Malley Farms 2025-NO-003 and 2025-RM-003, the commodities table grapes. However, that majority support petition was withdrawn on July 29th. Turning to administrative, board issued Dixon B Company, LLC, and that ALRB admin order number 2025-08 was the order to show cause why General Counsel's request for enforcement of subpoena ducis tecum should not be dismissed without prejudice. That issued on July 28th, 2025. Case number is 2024-CE-093. The admin order can additionally be found on our website. Finally, turning to pending matters, the board has a general counsel request for enforcement of subpoena ducis tecum that was filed on July 11th on the Tissue Grown Corporation, case number 2023-CE-011 SAL. That concludes my report. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Santiago. Any questions? No? Okay. We do not have a litigation report today, so the next agenda item is the General Counsel's report with Julie Montgomery.
Good morning, Chair, board members. Happy to see everyone here. I have one settlement to report out of Region 2, which involves Towser Apiaries, Inc. And in that charge, a person who performed beekeeping work in Yolo County filed a charge against Towser Apiaries on August 14th, 2024, alleging that his former employer violated the act by requiring employees to sign an unlawful confidentiality agreement that was reasonably understood to require them to return their employment records on separation from their employment. And this would prevent employees from cooperating with the ALRB as well as other enforcement entities, if employees don't have access to their wage records. Towser and the ALRB reached a settlement in which the company agreed not to enforce aspects of the definition in their agreement of confidential information. And they also had an employment contract for employees with the same information. And they agreed to rescind specific language from that definition that would run afoul of the act. Finally, Towser will engage in equitable remedies, including a reading of a notice to employees regarding the charge and their rights under the act, mailing to past and current employees, and posting of the notice on the employer's property. So kudos to our Region 2 staff for that settlement. For outreach, we have a number of events in July. I'll just give you a few highlights. I think there was not a GC report at the last meeting, so I have to back up a little bit. We've had staff distributing materials and performing outreach at the Oaxacan Community Shed, hosted by Center for Farm Worker Families in Watsonville and Santa Cruz County. We've had staff working with the Mexican Consulate Office in San Francisco to table and provide information about the ALRB. We provided a Spanish interview on La Hora Mixteca with Mixteco interpretation, which was hosted by Radio Bilingüe. That was in mid-July. And there's a lot of events here, so I'll just give you a few highlights. Our staff also was interviewed on the program Líderes del Futuro on KBBF Radio in Sonoma County. That was last month. And they distributed materials at an educational resource fair in Santa Cruz County, at a monthly citizenship social justice fair in Oxnard. They also were interviewed on the radio program La Cooperativa Campesina for California's Comunidad Alerta radio program. That was just last week. And they attended a Campesinos and Agencies Mobilizing Policy Opportunities Task Force, which is CAMPO is the acronym. And that meeting was hosted by a Central Valley Task Force of community-based organizations, including Central Coast Environmental Justice Network and CBDIO. And finally, they distributed materials on July 31st at the Latino Madera Club food distribution in Madera County. So they're active out in the community, continuing to do outreach. We found that although there are fewer events being held, there are still a number of community events where people are coming forward, and our staff is present there to make sure people are aware of their rights. And that concludes my report. Happy to answer questions.
Thank you, Julie. And just want to uplift the General Counsel's program for the tremendous effort and work that they do on behalf of the ALRB month in and month out. So thank you very much. And I look forward to joining the outreach team on one of these outreach events soon, hopefully. Any questions or comments, thoughts?
Sharing your comments.
Thank you. Today, we do not have an administrative services report, a legislation report, nor a regulations report. Therefore, the next agenda item is public comment. Members of the public who have contacted the board either by email or phone are asked to be placed in the public comment queue will be called on in the order received. If you did not previously contact the board and wish to make a public comment, you may do so by raising your hand. We ask that you also provide your name and organization if applicable. This information will become a part of today's official record. If you wish to speak more than once, please alert staff and have your name placed back in the queue. If you have technical difficulties when you are called, please reach out to us via email and we will come back to you. Please be advised that the board is unable to adjudicate, comment, or resolve any pending case matter. I will ask our executive secretary to go first through the queue. Santiago, do we have any members of the public that express interest in making a comment?
No, we do not. At this time, I'll ask that the attendees to our public board meeting via Zoom, if they wish to make public comment, please use the raise hand feature. I'm not seeing any hands raised and I have not received any emails.
Okay, thank you, Santiago. Seeing none, the board will now recess into closed session. Thank you all. Good morning. The board has returned from closed session and our last agenda item is announcements. Please note the next board meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, August 13th at 10 a.m. This is a special board meeting to allow the board to convene in closed session. The next regularly scheduled board meeting is set for Wednesday, August 20th at 10 a.m. With that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Board
Second.
Member Braun moves and Board Member Hall second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Wonderful. That concludes our meeting. Thank you, everyone, and have a good day.